Hey everyone, Tigertenaka here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Platinum. In the last episode, we took on another Gym Leader rematch, and I said that we'd be doing something a little more exciting than that. I was wrong, because in this part, we're going to be talking about eggs. There's one egg in particular, for sure. This time around, we're going to be talking about the Manaphy Egg. And if you look at it right away, you'll notice that it's really different. If you beat the original Pokemon Ranger game for the DS, you will get a special password allowing you to get the Manaphy Egg in Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum. And with the way the Manaphy Egg is, it's already decently close enough to hatching. So, best place to hatch eggs is Salacion Town and the routes above and below it, because you can just ride your bike in a huge straight line. And now, the thing about eggs, if you have a Pokemon in your party that has either the Magma Armor ability or the Flame Body ability, the amount of steps needed to hatch the egg is halved. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those abilities on me, so that kinda sucks. Closest thing I have to it is Flash Fire, and that doesn't count. Now, of course, I don't have the original Pokemon Ranger game, nor would I know how to get that to work on emulators. So I am using an action replay code for this, so I'll post that in the description like I usually do. Unlike the other events, though, you can still do this one legitimately, if I remember correctly, since all you need is to beat the original Pokemon Ranger game. But that's not going to be all the egg talk we're going to do with Manaphy here. There's also a bunch of mechanics you can do with breeding and eggs, which I'll get to in a little bit. But for right now, there is something called the Masuda method. I'm sure some of you are familiar with it, especially if you're avid shiny hunters. The Masuda method is basically if you breed two Pokemon together that are from different countries. Say I breed a Rapidash from the US with one from Japan, the baby is way more likely to be a shiny Pokemon than if I were to breed two Rapidash together from the United States. In this generation, the chance of it being shiny is multiplied by 6. That's a 1 in 1,365 compared to the 1 in 8,192 normally. Now you may be getting the idea, oh, what if I bred the Magikarp I get from the Meister with another Magikarp? That doesn't work. They have to be generated in a game that is from another country. So you can't cheat the system and get a free shiny Pokemon from the Meister's Magikarp or any other in-game trades that give you supposedly foreign Pokemon. The Pokemon have to be generated inside of games from different countries. Now this egg should be hatching pretty soon here, at least I would hope. Let's see how it's going here. It's making sounds, so it's pretty close. This is what sucks about not having Magma Armor or Flame Body, because it takes twice as long. Luckily though, the Manaphy Egg doesn't take too long to hatch in general, especially since it's given to you occasionally moving, and what the hell? That was weird. What? I guess I must have changed gears by accident. That was weird. But yeah, since the Manaphy Egg is given to you already moving on occasion, it doesn't take nearly as long as another egg would, which it's not going to be the only egg we're hatching here. You'll see soon enough. Now, if the egg would just hatch, that'd be nice. But yeah, I always found the Manaphy Egg design pretty cool, actually, especially since they used it in the Manaphy movie. It was pretty cool. It looks more like it's a single cell, like an egg technically is, instead of just a shell, just randomly growing something inside of it. But yeah, Manaphy itself, it has a base stat total of 600, 100 in each stat. It's one of those Pokemon that's completely balanced. However, it gets technically 2 signature moves, but one... Oh, finally it's hatching here. Pretty unique animation. Anyway, though, now we can continue on to do what I was gonna do, but as I was saying before, it gets 2 moves, Tail Glow and Heart Swap. Heart Swap, I believe, changes stat changes, like it swaps the stat changes of itself and a target, and Tail Glow increases its special attack stat by 3 stages. So yeah, that's pretty worth it. That's why I was banned in 4th gen for the longest time. Anyway though, that's not all there is to Manaphy. If you have a Ditto and put Manaphy and it in the daycare together, you can get another egg. Now you can get Ditto by going to the Pokemon Mansion south of Hearthome City, and it'll be the random Pokemon you can get daily from Mr. Backlot. And this makes Manaphy the only legendary Pokemon that can breed. But make absolutely sure that it's with a Ditto. It will not work with anything else. Manaphy can't breed unless it's with a Ditto. Why they couldn't make it with another Manaphy, I'll never know, but whatever, it works. So now we just have to wait until they make an egg. Let's see how their personalities match up, actually. How fast they make an egg kind of depends on their personalities. They don't seem to like each other much, so it'll probably take a while, so I guess I'll cut ahead until they make an egg, so I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, the daycare man finally turned over, so that means that there's an egg. So if you talk to him, he'll give you the egg. And yes, I want the egg. I don't know why you wouldn't want it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get our Manaphy back. Yeah, the thing about the daycare is that your Pokemon gain 1 experience point for each step you take, but every time your Pokemon goes up a level, they charge another 100 Pokédollars to give it back. And they always charge you 100 no matter what. So you'll notice that this is a regular egg, and it doesn't, unfortunately, move occasionally right away. So that kinda sucks. However, it is a different Pokemon inside of the egg instead of being another Manaphy. And while we're waiting for this egg to hatch, I want to talk about the breeding mechanics for this generation. And if you have a Pokemon hold an Everstone while it's in the daycare, the offspring has, I think it's 50% chance in this generation, to pass down its nature onto the baby. So that's pretty nice, especially if you're trying to get a specific nature, but there's also more. If you have a Pokemon hold a power item, it will pass down its IV in correspondence to that item's stats down to the baby. So for example, I believe it's the power band, it passes down the attack IV. The power items in general give you 4 EVs every time you defeat a Pokemon in that particular stat. So if you want to know what IV it'll pass down, just see which one it talks about in the item description. There's also more to breeding than that. I believe it's the female parent, the mother, that determines what species the Pokemon is. And the male passes down egg moves. Moves that Pokemon can't normally learn unless they are bred onto it. Pokemon don't have to be the same species to breed. They all belong into certain egg groups. For example, there's the human-shaped egg group, which means that I believe Pokemon like Machamp and Jynx can breed together, and the offspring will be a Jynx, since it's a female parent and Jynx can only be female. Thank God for that. I don't want to ever see a male Jynx. But at the same time, there are certain moves that the father can pass down onto the offspring. I can't really think of a specific example with Machamp and Jynx, but there is an example where Rattata can be born with the moves Facade and, Endeavor and Quick Attack. I don't know what parent for the father you would need for that, though, but with that breeding combination, it would give you the Fear strategy, the Focus Sash, Endeavor, Quick Attack strategy, where if you have the Rattata hold a Focus Sash, and it's at level 1, you can basically get it down, your opponent down to pretty much no health, especially if it's level 100, and use Quick Attack on it. Because your opponent will probably knock you down to 1 HP since you're holding the Focus Sash, which makes you live one single hit no matter what if you're at full health. Which, since you're level 1, you're probably going to go down to 1 HP no matter what. So you can use Endeavor on the opponent, bring them down to 1 HP, and then use Quick Attack to finish them off. It's a novelty at best, but it can catch your opponent off guard. That is, if it weren't for the team previews in 5th Gen and above, where now they can see that coming, but if they don't prepare for it, then it can still take down a Pokemon. This does get taken down by Ghost types, though, because they're not affected by either Endeavor or Quick Attack. And if your opponent has any hazards down at all, your Rattata isn't going to be able to take a hit because its Focus Sash will be broken. This goes the same for weather effects, like Sandstorm or Hail. It'll break the Focus Sash because you won't be at full health to take the hit. It's really interesting how they implemented the breeding mechanic. However, in 5th Gen and up, maybe they introduced it in 6th Gen, I don't remember off the top of my head, but if you give one of the parents a Destiny Knot, yeah, I just remembered it's 6th generation only they did this. If you give a parent a Destiny Knot, it will give all 5 of the parents' IVs, I believe. It's between 4 and 6, I don't remember off the top of my head, but that basically makes it so that the power item strategy is basically outdated, but for 4th and 5th generation, it was a pretty good system. Let's see how this egg is doing now. It should be getting close. Apparently not. So I still have a ways to go, and I'm starting to run out of egg stuff to talk about. In fact, I pretty much am out of egg stuff to talk about. I guess I should mention the bad egg stuff while I'm at it. There's very few instances, mostly if you use cheats or hacks or anything like that, where you can get a bad egg randomly popping up in your PC. That usually means your game data is going to be screwed, especially if it was like in 3rd generation games where if you got a bad egg, you can't hatch it, you can't release it, you can't trade it, nothing. If you start getting bad eggs, it's going to start spreading all over your game. It's going to start replacing some of your Pokemon. And it's just going to completely screw your day. I think it does kind of the same thing in 4th gen, only it doesn't spread over. But bad eggs still aren't good. I think they're programmed into the game as something to stop the game from just not working so that you can still play it. But they still damage your save file to an extent. So if you ever see a bad egg, just be really careful. They usually don't pop up unless you start cheating or hacking really bad, though, so you shouldn't have to worry about it normally. And I don't remember what games they're in, but there's some games where you can't trade eggs, and there are some where you can. I think it's in Diamond Pearl Platinum where you have a specific thing in the Union Room where you can trade eggs. But it's basically done randomly. Like, if you do, like, a group of 4 people, your eggs will be traded randomly, where if it's, like, 2 people, then obviously you're gonna just trade with each other. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Pokemon eggs. It's really in-depth when you think about it, but it does throw off a lot of people, because you have to really research and understand what to do in order to make use of it. I remember the first thing I actually went out of my way to breed, like, specifically, was a Sigilif in my white version. I had to get Stored Power, Cosmic Power, and I believe Roost. No, it wasn't Roost, it was something else, I don't remember, but I had to get Stored Power and Cosmic Power on it, with a specific nature and trying to get good IVs on it. That took a while, because I had to breed, like, Sigilif with Xatu, and I didn't have any Xatu in my white version, so I had to transfer Xatu from my 4th generation game to my 5th generation game. It took a while to do. But, in the long run, it was worth it, considering what Sigilif can do. Psycho Shift, that's what the other move was I was trying to get. I was trying to get Stored Power and Psycho Shift on it, which both moves Xatu can learn. So that was pretty nice. And my strategy for Sigilif was set up a bunch of Cosmic Powers, equip it with a Flame Orb, and make sure that it has Magic Guard for the ability, otherwise this kind of voids the whole thing. Magic Guard with Flame Orb, give it Psycho Shift, so that it can transfer the burn onto something else. Keep spamming Cosmic Power or Calm Mind, whichever you want to do. I usually do Cosmic Power, because it increases your defenses. And then you can have Roost and Stored Power on it, or if you want, you can put Air Slash over Roost. And what Stored Power did is that it increased its power by 20 base power for each stat increase you had. So if you had either Calm Mind or Cosmic Power, that's 2 stat increases per turn. So yeah, you could really get some power with that Stored Power if you kept Sigilif in there long enough, especially if you had a Baton Passing team. Baton Passing team for a while was really popular, especially in 4th generation, but Stored Power didn't exist then, so that kinda sucked. But yeah, I remember for a while on Pokemon Online, Baton Passing was very common. And that's why I remember I used someone's set for a Vital Spirit Electivire as a lead. Because Sleep Powder Venomoth was pretty common. And it would start setting up. Actually, it was early 5th generation, too. That's what it was. Not 4th generation, it was early 5th gen. Where Venomoth could get Quiver Dance, but it would try to lead off and use Sleep Powder on the first turn. I would lead with the Vital Spirit Electivire, it wouldn't fall asleep, and then their Venomoth would just be kind of screwed after taking a hit for nothing. So that's pretty nice. All that done just for egg moves. Egg moves can be really good, and God, I didn't think this egg was going to take this long to hatch. It's going on 20 minutes. I guess I'll cut ahead until it either gets close to hatching or it hatches, so I'll see you guys in a little while. So, 7 minutes later, this is why you want something with flame body or magma armor, otherwise you're going to take an entire day just to hatch one fucking egg. Anyway, here is Manaphy's offspring. Meet Fiona. Fiona is basically an inferior Manaphy. That's literally what it is. Fiona has base 80 stats all across the board, and it doesn't get access to either Heart Swap or Tail Glow. At least I don't think it gets Tail Glow. I know it doesn't get Heart Swap. But yeah, it is literally an inferior Manaphy. There's nothing Fiona does that Manaphy doesn't do better. So yeah. I don't even think their abilities are any different. Let's see here. They both have hydration, I think. Yeah, they do. But that is basically strictly for Pokedex completion. Fiona is a worse Manaphy, no matter how you look at it. Anyway, that took way longer than it should have, clocking in at almost 22 minutes, not counting the stuff I had to do off screen just to get that stupid egg to hatch. So I'm really sorry that this video was probably boring. Besides my stories, there was really nothing going on screen, so I apologize for that. Hopefully the next video will be a lot more entertaining for you guys. So next time on Pokemon Platinum, we'll be handling something that I really have not been looking forward to doing, but you guys will probably enjoy my pain. See you guys then!